Hi everybody, welcome back to Slone Stitches. If you're new here, my name is Jess. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this is my channel about cross stitching. And this is Augie. He's come to be my helper today. Somewhat against his will, I think. He didn't realize if he jumped up here, he would be the helper, but he is. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. How are you? So good to see you. You done? Okay, go. Be free. How's your last 2 weeks been? Random open to the video today. It's been a great few weeks around here. We are back to school officially. I have a middle schooler officially, which is crazy to think about. I know I'm almost 40, but I do not feel like I am old enough to have a middle schooler. But I do, and he loves it so far. This is only his 3rd day, so, I guess the final verdict is up in the air. But he does really like it so far. He likes the independence and changing classes, so that's good. Really, everything's getting back to normal. He's in school, volleyball practice has started. My husband is back to work after his hernia surgery. And thank you guys so much, everyone who sent such nice comments and messages on Instagram and email about my husband's surgery and the passing of our sweet little Clover kitty. That was so nice of you guys. Such a great community, the stitching community, and I really appreciate everybody reaching out. So it was very sweet. I wanted to make sure that I said thank you. We're going to jump straight into stitching stuff because I feel rejuvenated. There was a string of stitching events either getting canceled or I couldn't go. Summer Stitch got canceled because of a COVID outbreak. I couldn't go to the Northern Kentucky Stitchers meetup because my husband was sick. And then Stitching in Indy ended up being canceled and is going to be rescheduled. So I had a really rotten string of luck there for a little while, but we're back. So I have a lot of fun things to show you. I have both a finished and a fully finished piece to show you today. So I want to get straight into it so that I can get this wrapped up and hopefully edited before I have to go sit in the car line at school, which is a whole other thing that we'll talk about when I get to one of my new starts here in a minute. So the fully finished piece I want to show you first. This I showed a few videos ago. I started and finished this at StitchCon. This is a freebie pattern from Twisted Threads. I'm going to show it way back here, even though it's a freebie, just in case. It's called Life's Twisted Path. And I made a bunch of modifications to it to include StitchCon 2025 and my table mate's initials, which I'm getting very excited to hear all the startup things about StitchCon 2026. And girls, I will be in contact because we need to plan this, see if we can get the band back together next summer. That's coming up very soon. But anyway, the pattern says Life's Twisted Path is threaded with friendship. So I made a bunch of alterations and I stitched it on this really fun piece of 14 count Gothic from Picture This Plus. I'm not really a 14 count person, but I had it in my stash. So I finished it in this little block that I thrifted. It says something, I think it says like love grows here. So I matted this on something and glued it in there. So it's really cute. I love this fabric. I think this came out super sweet. So we're in the process of basically reorganizing our entire house, including our room, which is where my stitching bookshelf is. And I'm going to put this in a really nice spot on my stitching bookcase. So I love that. I had this sitting around and I was like, okay, you said you wanted to do this. This will take you 10 minutes at most. And it did. So, here we go. She did an FFO. Everybody be very proud of her. Then I have one finish. This is Waves Galore from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I started this StitchCon. It was my StitchCon start. It's on a piece of 40 count mystery even weave from BeStitchMe. It was in a grab bag. And this is so small. And I said, I cannot let this sit. Like if this is in my whip parade in January, I'm going to feel real stupid because it's so small, both stitch count wise and real size wise because of the fabric. Just get it done. So I did. I did make some changes to it. You know, Frosted Pumpkin likes their little cutesy eyes that they put on inanimate objects. Not really a super fan of that in most situations, so I removed those. And I also added the good old Oxford comma after the word sure because I have an English master's degree and it was bugging me, so I fit it in there. I'm sorry for the hoop marks. It's fresh off the hoop as of yesterday, but there it is. It's so cute. I love it. And I don't think it's missing anything for missing the eyes. The beach ball and the sunscreen and the sun look very cute, even without eyeballs. You can see my teeny tiny little over 1 comma. But it works. I think it looks like it belongs there. So look, it's so little. I always say I need more summer decor because I have a ton of like Christmas, Halloween, stuff like that, but I don't have very much in the way of summer. I even have more spring, honestly, than I have summer. And I had to leave some of my spring stuff out because I just couldn't fill the shelves the way I wanted them to look. So I'll have to get that fully finished, get back on that train again like I did with the other thing. So very happy to have that done, out of the whip pile, into the finished box, and hopefully ready to be displayed next summer because the summer stuff's coming down here in about 2 weeks. I'm very excited to decorate for Halloween. Can't wait. I always decorate for Halloween at the beginning of September because I like to look at it for a couple of months. And I do the same thing with Christmas. Like Christmas will come out very beginning of November because I want to see it and enjoy it for a couple of months. So very excited. Okay, let's go into whips. The first whip that I worked on, I actually showed you last video. I had just started it, and it is from Max Pigeon of Pigeon Coop Designs, Cross Stitch in the Forest book. And it's Autumn Drizzle. This is what it looks like finished. This is for a Christmas present. So I am stitching this on a piece of 18 count Aida in Raspberry Latte from Grace Notes Fabrics. This is what it looked like in my last video, and I put a little more time into it just to get it to a place where I felt very confident that I can finish it before Christmas, and I think I can. I don't see there being any issues. This is where it is now. So I got all the mountains done. Sorry, this is my needle minder. I know that looks weird. So clouds are done, rain's done, all the mountains are done, and I've started on the trees down here. This is so fun. Just nice block stitching. A lot of color changes, but not, you know, it's not too bad. There are, stare at this while I look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 colors in this. So a lot really for a piece of this size, but I've had worse. I'm sure you have too. So I think it looks great. Once again, you can't really tell the color of this fabric very well. It's a very pinkish brown modeling. You can kind of see it there. And I went to Michael's. My haul is just going to be like spread throughout this update. But I went to Michael's and I found this little tray and I measured with my heart. And it worked out perfectly. I looked at it when I got it home and I was like, yes, I'm going to finish it in this tray. So it's got the cute little pumpkin. So it's got the fall vibes and the piece is going to fit perfectly. It's the perfect size. So I'm very excited about that. Let's see if I can. You're not going to tell that it fits in there, but it does. It's right in there perfectly with like maybe a ½ inch on each side. So I'm very excited about that. I told myself with our redecoration of our living room, we're getting a bunch of new furniture pieces and I need to thrift a couple of them because I just can't find what I want in any stores or on websites. And we kind of have like a vintagey, mid-century modern almost kind of look going on right now. And I said, I just need to throw a tape measure over in my purse. I have one in my stitching case, which we'll talk about that in a minute, but I don't have one in my purse, so I need to do that. It seems to be working out okay for me. And I also grabbed this book sleeve off of a D. Well, no, this wasn't a D stash. Where did I get this? Barnes & Noble, maybe? I can't remember. But it's a book sleeve, and it's kind of like that vinyl feeling. So I thought that'll make a great project bag. And I was in desperate need at the time of project bags because my whip count ballooned up to 40. Oops. It's down to 39 now that I finished Waves Galore. But we got to work on that. Okay. Next, I dipped back into my rotation a little bit, even though basically at this point, I think for the rest of the year, I'm just stitching whatever. My rules, right? But I did kind of want to touch on the rotation to try and touch things before the end of the year because I was so proud of myself for touching everything in the first half of the year, and now I'm fully off of the train. So this is Beachcomber from Lindy Stitches. This was an exclusive to Acorns and Threads for one of their retreats for quite a while, but now you can purchase it. I purchased this last year at Market, and I purchased it directly from Steph at Lindy Stitches because I wanted to get the thread pack for the overdyes that are in it. So this is with all of the called for. I have a bunch of random seed beads that are going to go in it because she says just pick ones that make you think of the beach. So I've done that. I haven't put any of the beads in it yet. This is on a 32 count mystery lugana from BeStitchMe that I got in a Friday Night Fight Night. So one of the ones that didn't have a name. This is where it was when you saw it in my whip parade 2 months ago. And here it is now. So I got all the words in, and there's all that fill-in that we're going to have to do. But that's okay. Got more of the border, got the whole box in, got all the words, started to fill it in, and I figure I can just do a few strands of fill-in every time I work on it. Sometimes you're just in the mood for fill-in, so that's great. If I'm ever randomly in the mood for fill-in and I'm not currently working on this piece, super easy to grab it and start putting stuff in it. Since it's a 32 count, I am doing it 2/2, which is a little annoying for me with my current preferences of stitching, but that's okay. It's looking great. Just about, I think I would call it half done. The whale was a lot of stitches, but the fill-in on this box is also a lot of stitches, and then you've got the bottom part to do. But it's coming right along. I love it just as much as I hoped I would, which is always the goal, right? It's awful when you pick up a piece that you've wanted to stitch for so long and you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. That's not the goal. Okay. Show you more of my haul. I got this off of a D-Stash group on Facebook. This is a Tiger Lily Designs portfolio. Look how pretty this is. And it's big. So got this pretty pattern with this floral all the way around. And this called out to me because of the hummingbirds. And anyone who's watched knows that I'm not really a bird person at all. Like if a pattern I really like has a bird, I'll stitch the bird. But I usually avoid birds in anything. There's not my favorite thing. But it's been real hard with Marketplace this month, by the way, because I feel like the majority of designs I'm going, it's a bird, that's a bird, that's a bird, that's a bird, that's a bird. It's fine. But this, my grandma loved hummingbirds. So I have a couple of hummingbird things in our house. I can see a hummingbird magnet on our refrigerator right now. That was my mom's that I kept when she passed. But I love this. So you open the Velcro and it's got the 2 zipper pouches with the vinyl. So I've got 2 projects in here. This is my project temperatures that I'm doing for the year that my grandma was born. So that had to go in here. And this is for Inkling, which is the project I'm doing in honor of my cat Clover that just died. And we always joked because we got Clover right after my grandma passed, like a few months after, we joked that she had my grandma's spirit because she kind of acted like her a little bit. So when I saw this on the D-stash, I was like, I have 2 memorial pieces going that are technically tied to my grandma. So this was perfect. So I got that. And it also has the little pouches here where you can put things. So papers and patterns and all sorts of stuff. So really, technically, you could fit 4 projects in this if you used this as space for something else. So like another pattern. So I love this so much. So the reason I have this not in my haul section, which there is no haul section today because I'm just kind of throwing it all in here, is because I worked on for Inkling. I wanted to give it another day's worth of work. So I did. So this is what For Inkling looks like. This is Noctiflora Designs. This is what it looked like when I showed it on my last video. I had stitched it one day with Clover right before we had to put her down. It's on a 20 count Aida in the color Dusk from BeStitchMe. This was just a fabric of the month color a few months ago. So I finished the words and started on the wings up top. So here's where it is now. Oh, the color's kind of showing today. I'll bring it in a second. There you go. You can see my little Clover girl, my little Clover needle minder. So I will see you in every shadow until I become one too. So we're gonna, if you missed my last update, we're gonna do this cat with the wings up here. And then down here, I'm gonna do the borders. And then down here, instead of doing the other cat that's upside down, I'm gonna stitch her name in a font that coordinates with this. Her date of like the year she was born and the year she passed. And I'm going to keep this needle minder on the piece when I frame it. So that's for my Clover girl. So very happy to have the words done. The cat with the wings is dense stitching, but it's pretty easy and it went into Pattern Keeper with no problem really. So we're going to move right along. I'm going to try and work on it somewhat regularly so that I can get it finished and displayed. While I have it out, let me show you the fabric for the back of this. And like the underneath the vinyl. Isn't that so pretty? I've always wanted one of these portfolios, and I say all the time, I need a trapper keep. Like I need this, but I need it to be thicker here, like wider. And I need 2 more of these in the middle. I want to be able to put like 10. Like, give me a Christmas themed one and let me stick all of my Christmas projects in it, or give me a Halloween one, or just anything. Like, I really need to get my sewing machine set up and try and figure out how to do that myself, because I don't think I've ever seen anyone really do one with that many pouches the way that I would want to have it. And if they do it, I probably couldn't afford it. So we'll see. We'll see where the wind takes me on that one. But I really love this. And I think I got it for $35 or $40 off D-Stash. And she shipped it like the next day. I was very, very pleased with my experience. I don't buy off of D-Stash a lot, but that was a good experience. Okay. Next up, Stitch Go for August. Number 15 was Bath Time, which is my Heaven and Earth Designs pattern, artwork by Lisa Parker. And I had to do 1,500 stitches on it. So if you're new, I take the numbers that Jessie Marie Does Stuff calls for Whip Go. And I have a regular Whip Go board, but I also have my Stitch Go board. And the number called there corresponds to number of hundreds of stitches. And I have my 2 largest pieces, or 2 of my largest pieces, alternated on the board. So this month it actually worked out. A couple weeks ago, my last video, I showed you Modern Folk Embroideries Reaching Skyward that I had to do 1,200 on, I think, or 1,300, something. I can't remember what the other call was this month. And this one needed 1,500. So I did that. So try to think if I remember to take a picture. If I didn't, I'll try and show a screen grab. But if I do, it'll be here. This is what bath time looked like back then, maybe. And this is what it looks like now. There you go. So you can see I worked down there in that corner. He's looking great, honestly. It's nice to be into something that's not the green and the gray of the window and the top rim of the bucket, the pail, whatever we're going to call it, the wash tub. Let me fold this up and I'll bring you in a little closer to the section that I worked on. So I'm doing diagonal pages, and so we're down here right now. And 1,500 stitches, I mean, it filled in a lot of this. No, looking pretty good. Still can't get over the bubbles. But it's just a lot of fun. I had a really great time with it. I've said this a billion times, but I'm so glad that I did the Stitch Go board because it means that this project is getting so much more love than it would have otherwise this year. So it's getting there. It's at like 22-ish%. So, you know, a long way to go yet, as you can see the full extent here. It's going to go quite a ways. Not the whole way, but quite a ways. But yeah, he looks good. I can't wait for, you know, like a year from now when I get back to doing the other half of his face. Because I figure it'll be about then. Maybe not. I'm definitely going to do Stitch Go again next year. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get more. I think I will. Because I work on it when it comes up in my rotation, when I'm doing my rotation too. Maybe it'll get more work than I think. All right. Next, straight on over to WhipGo. Ragnarok was my number 15 on WhipGo this month. So this is from Long Dog Samplers. Oh, and I forgot to say, bath time is just a 25 count 1/1. It's a easy count lugana. This is on a 32 count Joplin in Lazy from Zweigart. I am doing this with sulky threads, 3 different colors of sulky threads, and Anchor Black. This is what it looked like the last time I showed it. I don't think I took a picture because I was working on it the last time I filmed. I can't remember. I really can't remember. There's a picture of some sort here of where I was at some point in the past. And this is where we are at now. Filled in a lot, honestly. Finished these guys here. Did all of this here. All the way over to that tree. The ravens were already there, but all of that came down here for the roots of this tree. There's a wolf on either side here. And then got this little guy mostly done. Just need to finish his leg. My 4th day on this is today. So for anyone who's wondering, this is a mess. I'm very sorry. For WhipGo, if you're new, I do 4 days on the call project. So yeah, this is over 40% done now. Isn't that exciting? It should be. I started this, it'll be 2 years this weekend. That's when this one's birthday is. So we've got some making up to do. I probably should be further than 40%, but I think 40% is pretty good. Oh, love that. I'm trying to decide if I want to put this on my Stitch Go board next year instead of not moving forward, reaching skyward. I haven't decided. Maybe I'll put 3 projects on it, but then they won't get as much love. So we'll see. That's a decision for October-ish me. So that's Ragnarok. Looking great. Okay. Last regular whip. I haven't been able to find a picture online that I like of this one, so I'm going to show the pattern. This is Kindred Friends. This was the StitchCon exclusive for keepsakes from Heart and Hand. She was the featured designer at the retreat this year. And we got a border in our freebies in the guidebook that will go around this. I bought everything. I bought the fabric, I bought the threads. So this is on 16 count Aida and cookie dough from Needle Bling Designs. It is 2/1 full cross with the called for classic colorworks threads. And there they are. And I just put a little bit of work into this, just one day, but enough to say that I was still making progress on it. There it is. So finished the tomato, got this spool in, and worked this over this way. And there's my little 310 shop cat needle mind. So that's where Kindred Friends is currently sitting. It stitches so fast, it's just taking the time to do it. But I will, because it's another one like Waves Galore where I'm like, okay, this is little. Do I really want to have this around going into 2026? And the answer is no, I do not. Will I find the time to finish it before 2026? Maybe. But it's looking good. It's fun to stitch. That's the thing. It's fun to stitch. Maybe I'll take it with me to a volleyball practice or something over the next few weeks, a couple of those, and maybe I'll knock it out that way. It's easy to do in the car. Okay. I had 2 new starts. So I had talked in my last video, I bought this pattern from the Art of Disney, which was a 1996 printing, but then they also re-released it in 2004. So I bought this kit off of eBay. It had everything with it. I did decide when I started it to sub out the aida. So I set that aside and I picked out a piece of 36 count even weave from BeStitchMe in the color Wild Bouquet. And I started it on our anniversary because it was our 17-year wedding anniversary on the 9th. And I liked this fabric because it feels like it's like grass and sky. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well. Well, I'll hold it up like this so you can see what I'm talking about with the fabric, and then we'll bring it in with something behind it so you can see what I did. But there's the fabric. So you can see it's like green into a blue. And then I'll put it over this so you can see what I did. I got the fishing pole minus the back stitching completely done. And this is Pluto's. Without the back stitching. It'll get thicker and fuller once I have the back stitching. Yeah, that was fun. I worked on this for 2 days, I think. I mean, we were busy, obviously, on our anniversary. But, yeah, it's very cute. It's very simple to do. I'm doing it 1/2 on the 36 count with the kit floss, which, bless it, this kit is not like those kits that kill me every time where you have to figure out which color is which by yourself. It comes on cards that are pre-labeled. That made me very happy. So I love that one. So definitely one that I'll get out and work on days that are special to us and things like that. And just whenever the mood strikes me. I am really in a whenever the mood strikes me kind of situation right now. I don't know. My attention span is just not 100% there. I have this in a 50th anniversary Disney World laptop sleeve that I use as a project bag. So got that in there. And then my last new start is something that I bought at Mystic Fabrics, which is the Wolf from Cottage Garden Samplings. And I bought this because my son was going into middle school, and when they merge all 7 of our elementaries together in our district, they no longer have their old elementary mascots. The whole middle school and high school together, they are the Wolves. So loved that. And I found a piece of 36 count linen in the color Nothing also while I was at Mystic Fabrics. And I said, this is the one. So I started this on his first day of school, and this is going to be my Caroline stitching because we have so many kids at our school that basically I have to get in the car line like 45, 50 minutes before he lets out, or I'm going to be waiting way in the back and having to pull up. And I'm going to be sitting at home stitching. I can be sitting in the car stitching. So I started it and I got pretty far. I need to put something behind it. I'll use this. This is where I am. Excuse the scissors. Those are my little travel scissors. That is a fairly true color. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Isn't he cool? Obviously the model on the front is on a light fabric, which I think also looks really good, but there is something to be said for how he's gonna pop on this dark fabric. So we're loving that. That is for sure. So I'm very proud of where I am on this one. And I will be leaving here in a little over 2 hours to go sit in the car line and stitch on it. I didn't stitch on it yesterday in the car line because I took Waves Galore because I wanted to get that one done, like I said. So the return of the wolf today. Okay. So I want to show one piece of Stitchy Kindness, and then I thought it would be fun to go over what I have in my stitching case because I love seeing people's stitching cases. Mine is not as, what do we want to call it? Mine is not as fancy as some. I don't do like fabric on it and all that kind of thing, but I do have a lot of cutesy things on it. So I want to show you that. And I've actually had a couple people ask about it because they've seen pictures of it in the background on Instagram, or they saw the beginnings of it at StitchCon. So I thought it would be fun. But I did want to show this. My friend Tracy put this to the Northern Kentucky Stitchers meetup on Sunday this week. This was one of the giveaways at Summer Stitch, the first weekend where everybody caught COVID, and then we couldn't go the second weekend, the weekend I was signed up for because everybody had COVID. So she brought me this. Isn't that nice? She's like, I don't really use these things. Like, I don't keep my orts. And she's like, I think you might do that. And sometimes I do. And I thought this was really cute. So thank you so much, Tracy. It made me very happy that she thought of me and saved it for me. And I'm actually thinking I might do orts, but then also, I still have a lot of those beads left over from the fobs that I made for StitchCon giveaways. And I might take like different ones with initials of all of my stitchy friends that I have made and ones that I may make in the future. Cause obviously this is, can go on and off, and throw them in there with them. So like maybe I'll actually use like longer pieces of thread and like thread them together. And it's just an idea. But that was very sweet. Thank you. Okay, so the case. This is fun. I love these. So mine, it's kind of beaten up because I've had it for a really long time. So I had a smaller one at first, and then I decided I wanted to get a double layered one. So I got this off of Amazon like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So she's a little thicker than usual. This is one of the stickers we got at StitchCon. That was cute. So she's tall, she's thick. She doesn't have a huge footprint. And then when you open it up, I have 310 on here and one of my stickers and this little cat. So when you actually have the case open, they're looking at you. And that's a work in progress, obviously. Like, we're gonna keep putting more stickers on that. I'm using this as an excuse to make sure everything's straight before I show it to you. Okay. So turn her around here. Just an overview from back here. There it all is. And the reason I wanted it was for the storage under here. So I have like my thread gauge there, but that pops up and there's all kinds of goodies. So we will go over this right quick. I won't keep you here too long. We're actually going to have a decent short-ish video today, for me at least. So you can see here in the case, I've got lots of fun stickers. I've got my own, well, they're pins. I got my stickers here in case I need to grab one real quick if someone wants one. There's some scissors hidden behind that. There's needle threaders in here. Another pair of the travel scissors I like so much. This flying pig is from Rebel Stitcher. It's a needle minder, but I love it. And I live in Cincinnati, which is like the flying pig capital of the world. That's our thing. So I had to put it in here. And I've got a little J scissor fob that I made and a really cute little Rip-It. That's over here. Rip-It's over here. This is a fob that I just thought was really pretty. It's got a cat paw. I don't know if you can see that. Got that at StitchCon. This is from Jenny, one of my table mates at StitchCon. This is a little clover charm that I found at Michael's about a week ago. So I obviously had to get that for my clover girl, put it on here. This is a little gummy bear that I got from StitchCon. This is a pin that said, it's from You've Got Mail, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And it says, all this nothing has meant more to me than so many somethings. Little breathe and exhale needle minder here. My little Rip-It fob that I got with the frog on it from StitchCon. This says, you are safe to be you around me. I definitely wanted that displayed. And then my Clever Girl Jurassic Park reference. These are my favorite needles. These are Bowens, size 26. I always have some at the ready. And then in the actual tray here, I'll take it out and show you a little better. I have, this is a work catcher that Sarah, Engineer the Crafts, husband 3D printed. She had those as table giveaways at Stitch Away this year. Got my scissors in here. This is a tiny little frog. Can you see? I showed him in my StitchCon haul. I super glued him. He's Gorilla Glued in there. So he lives in there. I have my own little frog. He lives there now. These are the cute little cat scissors that Michelle got me at Mystic when we went. And then I've got one of my Disney World of Color needle minders with a bunch of needles on it. It sits in here in case I need to grab one. This is floss. I know where that goes. I need to put it up. That's Applejack. Got him at StitchCon too. He says to keep stitching. That's what it says. And then underneath of it, like I said, I have my little gauge cross stitch key. It fits in there perfectly. And then I've just got a bunch of stuff. Things that I may need, people I'm with may need, you never know. More needles. I've got some wax in this. I've got some good stuff, which is like hand balm. Got a tape measure. I've got more of my cable ties that I use to hold my fabric on my Q-snaps. Got tweezers because of cat hair. I've got a literal Frogger. A little clippy that comes in handy with my stitching stand when I'm stitching somewhere not at my house. I have a little emergency 3D printed bobbin, an emergency floss ring. I've got another type of needle threader. I have literally another type of needle threader. I've got a pencil, pen, a stylus, and a highlighter. All your essentials. And that's it. So that's why I wanted to have the 2-layered stitching case, because I got really tired of having my stitching case, but then I'd have to bring like a bag of stuff. Like I need a pen. Well, it won't fit in the stitching case because then it won't close. So I need to go find a pen and get this pouch out. And I need a tape measure. And oh my gosh, I lost my needle threader. I need another one. And where did my tweezers go? And I really wish I had extra cable ties with me because this fabric isn't cooperating and stuff like that. I really like to be prepared. I was not a Girl Scout. I did not have any brothers or cousins that were Boy Scouts, but I just really like to be prepared. So I am all the time. So that's my little stitching case. If you have one that you're really proud of, send me pictures on Instagram or tag me in them or something, because I really do love looking at them. They make me happy. Let's see. I'm going to have to reorganize this at some point. I got my groove all thrown off here. It's okay. Okay, the only thing left to talk about really is plans. I need to start Medicine and Poison from the Witchy Stitcher. That's my other planned August start. There may be others, I don't know. I need to wrap up Whip Go, so Ragnarok gets one more day, and the Haunted Library from Lola Crow is my other piece on my Whip Go board. So coming down to it, so I need to get started on those. I did make my marketplace picks, so there are 5. So when that comes in, I will show you what I landed on. I know I talked about a couple of them last week. I did purchase at least one of those. You just have to remember, everybody, you don't have to buy them all right now. I know it's exciting and everybody, but you don't have to. I also have 2 more retreats on the books, one virtual, the Lindy Stitches, I can't remember what it's called, the autumn, like the Harvest Moon. Is that what it's called? Is it called Harvest Moon? Let's look. I don't want to say something wrong. Yes, the Harvest Moon Hangout. I do have my ticket to that, so I will be at that around volleyball games because volleyball will have started by then. And then I also signed up for weekend 1 of Stitch Ridge, which is hosted by Millennial Fabrics. So that is July 30th. That's when the first weekend is next year. So I am going to go to that. So I'm very excited. I know several people that are going to be going to that. So I plan to spend a lot of my time with Michelle from my stitching group and Abby, Mountain Mama Stitches, and Catherine, Counting My Stitches. So I think we'll have a lot of fun together. So I'm already excited about that. And it's almost a year away, but it's okay. Other than that, that's all I have for this time around, guys. I'll be back in 2 weeks and we'll be in September by then, right? Yeah, right after Labor Day. So we'll be right into it. We'll be in the burr months. Is everybody excited? I love summer and I love going to our pool and not having to worry about school drop off and all that. But I love fall and Halloween and Christmas. And I'm very excited to be getting into those. I can't wait to start stitching Halloween and fall things all the time. Perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Everybody have a great 2 weeks. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.